to lose their knowledge as well as the effort during the passage of the time. What they gain at one point of a time could fade away along the travel of the time. Then we stick ourselves into 3 consecutive programs in a short period of interval. And the exact placement of these 3 event dates is dependable. That depends on the academic calendar of your faculty. One faculty to faculty, there is a little, the academic calendars are very much hand-on. In order to relax it in a way that becomes, you can go along with your academic calendar on parallel with the workshop programs. You can play around with 3 consecutive events in a very magnetic way. That circles me around this 3 number. That only push me out to have this 3 number rather than any other number. 3 number is very much very pragmatic and very noxious as well. It doesn't make any pull downs. Number 6, how many workshops for one batch? This is kind of a relative question. Our intention of this at very first initializations on the scratch, the implementation of this particular 3 consecutive workshops for a semester, that is 15 weeks, very much appreciable to us. Afterwards, depending upon the conditions as well as the rest of the elements, it will let us into expand it for the whole batch. That is indeed of dependable factor. We just can't say right now, and depending upon the then conditions in the sense there are some internal and external elements that can come out from the sky, that is very much unpredictable causes as well. In account of all those elements as well as the mixed out facts, we just can expand it to the entire batch, that which is indeed relativistic. That away from that relativisticness, we can have the 12, assuming this goes along smoothly. This is an assumptive figure away from these 3. That is quite from it's a derivation of 3 to that. That's our Manistotle point. As number 7, the time frame. In case of time frame, we angled ourselves into the weekends. The weekend in our particular ground, that is Olivinian ground, Southeastern University of Sri Lanka, that is Eastern Coastal Belt, the student mentality as well as their presence, they do have a congregation in order to make a weekend stay. They do have a good likelihood of that. They do have it. I do have some experience with the student as well as their mentality. I've been through them with the 3.5 years. That says me out. The weekend presence is very much likely, and that can cause changes in a positive way. It can just pull the garden away from to the heart. And that highly says weekends time framework is very appropriate to our university. And not only would it apply for a strict 1 semester, it's expandable. It can travel down the river up to the end of the point, up to the end of the December. And I'm not very much particular on the dates. That is due to the fact that there are changeabilities, non-changeabilities, and like factors in manipulation of all those elementary points. I would like to present this most general statement. We can just specify it in the time to come, and you can shoot out your questions towards the end of my program. I will make it clarify to the not to the 8 resource persons availability. Resource persons availability is it's very much interesting. Number 8. That could be either internal as well as external. There are internal resource people, academics. There are some non-academic good stars as well. There are at some places there are some administrative ones who are usable better than the academics. There are certain things. There are certain circumstances as well of that nature. In that very Manistosal point, the internal resources, internal talkers, internal speakers, trainers, resource persons, workshop makers can be utilized to the utmost level. Moreover, the external officers, external academics, the university, for instance, University of Ruhuna, University of Eastern University of Jaffna, and whatever the possibilities available, we can communicate to the right person. Whoever would like to come, as well as whoever becomes very much relevant to our to-do program, can be grabbed into our university systems in order to make it very apt. Not only would it be academic persons, we can even call for one from the industry. There are psychiatrists, psychologists, counselors, and further officers, development officers from divisional secretaries who've been trained into such workshops cases. All of them, all system of members can be brought into the university teaching our faculty for the sake of these workshops to make the point lead. The very one before the last is resource pool. Furthermore, the resource, even in the case of the resource pool, we can it would go very much accompanied with the very eighth one, that is external as well as exchange program. As I said some minutes ago, the external exchange would make a very positivity, that is bringing pulling out the people from the outside the universities. Sometimes it could even travel to the abroad. You can just bring out the people from the foreign countries. That's very much doable. And provided that you can expenses are very kind of accommodatable into your financial system, as well as your constitutionalization of the university trust authorities. So, very interesting matter to this resource pool is that the exchange. You can go for exchange. The exchange is of this nature. You just can have a one-day program in order to make replacement of your group to the other university, for instance, Eastern University or Japan. In our university, a large portion of the students are Tamil speaking. In that case, we can make some little collaboration or travel journey during the weekend to University of Brunei and bring their students there and have a little go and come and go process. It can throw the idea and get the come and go policy. That's throw the idea and get it back. Down the line, that's going to we just can't achieve it in overnight. It's not. We can't make it very much idealistic at one point. Yet, through practice, we can achieve it. Practice makes perfect. In that angle, we can amplify the pointer max. To the 10th, the promoting activities. In this, under this particular phrase, we are planning to have cultural visits as well as host families. In cultural visits, we just can bus all our students or all who are into the group to historical archaeological places that would have association with Buddhism. For instance, the Tigavapi is very much nearest to us. Barely would I find any students who are speaking no Tamil would have been there. And in that, we can take them to there and make some enlightenment to that. Furthermore, also some Buddhist temples, even to Anuradhapura, Ruwan Valley area, who are not knowledgeable about the Buddhism, can be funneled up into that. And there is on the other pole, we can also take the Buddhist students. There are Muslim high-level mosques, and such enlightenments from that domain can be thrown out into the air of them at that needful point. Most importantly, there is yet another point, that is host family. Host family is something of that's practiced quite in overseas countries. What we can achieve through that is we can get some of the non-Tamil speaking members, especially the students, and we can get them into hit through with the other the families, like Buddhist student spending some of the weekends for like 2 days with a Muslim community, Muslim family. They just go and help them out. Well, there is indeed a question of having it in practicum. Nevertheless, we can do it through, we can make it happen by doing it. We can just observe the consequence of that for the betterment of the society.
Their religion
That stops me off right here.
Not marry.
You can speak out the questions.
Host family means not
මම
marry.
දන්නවා හොස්ට් එකේ අවසානයේ මැරි එකක් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. බට් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ නෑ එහෙම නිකයි. එහෙම බලන්න බෑ. ඒකේ ආගමේ තියෙන ඕනේ සංහිඳිය ප්‍රතිපත්තිය.
කියන්නේ නිකන් අපි ගිහිල්ලා එන්න විසිට්
විසිට් කරලා ප්‍රශ්න විසඳනවා. මඩු වලට පිටින් කරනවා. ඒක පීඩනය විසිට් කළොත් නෑ.
That's why when Professor asked me, it was the wrong place. It was not the wrong place, but we went to the right place. But unfortunately, we could not get any participants from the Southeastern University or Singapore Art Center. That was the problem last time. So we did not receive any participants from the art faculty. So when I went this time, the vice chancellor and even Murshid came to the very first workshop, but he skipped the second one due to some issues. Even when I visited there, we could not meet you due to some personal commitment.